people have come out to seriously criticize anybody supporting NNAMDI KANU'S freedom, especially Atiku Abubakar. Since Atiku Abubakar, of course, here in Nobu Media, we gave you that news when Atiku was courageous and open enough to say that NNAMDI KANU should be released. Now, since Atiku made that statement demanding that NNAMDI KANU should be released, many people, especially Northerners, have been calling on him, demanding that he should not say that NNAMDI KANU should be released. This is the news because another group has come out openly to pressure Atiku Abubakar and to knock on him for even speaking out in any way for Mazi NNAMDI KANU. That is what we'll be looking at in this very video here in Nobu Media. If you have not subscribed, this is the right time for you to just click on subscribe. Atiku under fire over call for Mazi NNAMDI KANU'S release. Atiku Abubakar under fire over his demand for Mazi NNAMDI KANU'S release. A group under the aegis of the Democracy Watch Initiative, DWI, has blasted former Vice President Atiku Abubakar over his recent call for the unconditional release of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So this DWI, the Democracy Watch Initiative, if they are propagating democracy, then they should know that Nnamdi Kanu, under a democratic system, should be a free man. Like Peter Obi said some days ago, there is actually no reason to arrest Nnamdi Kanu in the first place. DWI said the call could weaken confidence in the rule of law and send a wrong message to accountability. These people are saying that calling for Nnamdi Kanu to be released will weaken confidence in Nigerian rule of law and affect democracy and accountability. In Nigeria, do we have democracy? In Nigeria, do we have accountability? In Nigeria, do people like Tinubu and co follow the rule of law? The group alleged that Atiku's position on the issue appeared inconsistent with his long-standing advocacy for justice and national unity, urging him to reconsider his comments in the interest of national cohesion. So they want Atiku to go back and say that he is against Nnamdi Kanu. We must move on. The group said this in a statement signed by its Director of Strategic Communication, Dr. Tunji Bamidele, on Thursday. It was yesterday, on Thursday, that Tunji Bamidele came out to talk against Atiku because Atiku is supporting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Remember, for you watching this video, the enemies of Nnamdi Kanu are not relenting. They are working very hard. They are speaking out. They are using media platform. That is why we must become very consistent with talking about it. You watching this, come under the comment of the video, like this video, then type Tinubu, release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now before it is too late. Tinubu, don't be deceived. Release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now before it is too late. Nnamdi Kanu is currently facing serious charges, including terrorism and treasonable felony, which involve allegations of incitement to violence and the destruction of public and private property. These are matters before the court, and the legal process should be allowed to run its course. These people are saying that this is exactly the way they said. They said Nnamdi Kanu is currently facing serious charges, including terrorism, allegations of incitement, including terrorism and treasonable felony, which involve allegations of incitement to violence and the destruction of public and private property. These are matters before the court, and the legal process should be allowed to run its course. This is the way this group are talking about Nnamdi Kanu. By calling for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's unconditional release, there is a risk of undermining the judicial process and the effort of those working to maintain peace and security. He said, they are saying that by calling for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's unconditional release, there is a risk of undermining the judicial process and the effort of those working to maintain peace and security. To provide some context, now let us begin to look at it to provide a context to this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's issue. To provide some context, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who began as the director of Radio Biafra, was first arrested in 2015, that is Tinubu's time, Buhari's time, for his separatist agitation for an independent Republic of Biafra. Of course, Nnamdi Kanu was saying, if you will not treat my people very well, then let us be on our own. If you will not accept us like citizens of the nation, if you will keep treating my people like second-class citizens, then it is best for me to be on our own. Which he claimed would encompass the Igbo-dominated states in the southeast and neighboring areas. Following their arrest, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his co-defendant faced charges of treasonable felony, unlawful possession of arms, and illegal deportation, importation of broadcast equipment in the Federal High Court in Abuja. They denied these charges but were denied bail until April 2017. That is when Buhari was still there. In September 2017, armed soldiers, so when Nnamdi Kanu was bailed in 2017, Buhari started the Operation Python Dance. Armed soldiers stormed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's home in Afaruku. It's important we point out this thing because some people will keep saying that Nnamdi Kanu ran away from Nigeria and all the rest. Armed soldiers stormed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's home in Afaruku near Umuaha, Abia State, leading him to flee the country. Actually, they wanted to kill him. And on that very mission, the soldiers killed and murdered a lot of Igbo youth. Some of them are still in prison now. Some of them are still missing. The Nigerian government subsequently obtained a court order designating IPOB as a terrorist group. They called IPOB a terrorist group while romancing and eating and whining with Boko Haram, with Fulani herdsmen, with all the terrorist groups in Nigeria. The Nigerian government subsequently obtained a court order designating IPOB as a terrorist group. After this military assault, Mr. Kanu was not seen publicly until months later when reports indicated he was in Israel. This is a background. Our people need to know this. Our people need to know what actually happened and why anybody, some people like Ijele calling against the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should really be looked at very well, whether they are real Igbos. At that time, it was reported that Kanu, a dual Nigerian and British citizen, Nnamdi Kanu is both a citizen of Britain and a citizen of Nigeria, was attempting to return to the United Kingdom. According to Premium Times, he eventually returned to the UK, where the government refused to label IPOB a terrorist organization. Yes, United Kingdom has refused to label IPOB a terrorist organization. As far as UK is concerned, IPOB is not a terrorist organization even till today. In the UK, he continued to issue incendiary statements against Nigeria, calling for attacks on state facilities and personnel in the southeast. Allegedly. Okay? Kanu, that is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a vocal critic of the Nigerian state and a proponent of the Biafran legacy, faced suspension from propagating what Professor Wole Soyinka termed his hate rhetoric. Wole Soyinka was those that said that Nnamdi Kanu is propagating hate speech, particularly from abroad. In an attempt to contain Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Buhari-led federal government ignited a legal controversy by allegedly mobilizing a group of felons to abduct him. A group of felons, a group of crazy people, to abduct or kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, where he was rearrested in June 2021. This action, supposedly assisted by Interpol, was later denied by Interpol itself. What we are giving you here in Noble Media is the background of this whole battle. Again, the Kenyan government distanced itself from the alleged arrest, with its High Commission in Nigeria stating that the accusations were fictional and imaginary. However, Nigeria then Attorney General Abubakar Malami SAN claimed that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's capture was due to international collaborative efforts, raising serious questions about the legitimacy of this assertion. Further complicating matters, Minister of Communication then, Ogalai Mohammed, maintained that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu arrest was a result of diligent work by Nigerian security agencies in collaboration with other nations. So Nnamdi Kanu has gotten so big that even many nations collaborate to hold him. Yet the commitment to a fair trial for Kanu remains dubious, especially given his history of being denied due process. A high court in Nairobi courageously condemned the state-sponsored abduction or kidnap, declaring Kanu's first transfer to Nigeria unlawful and unconstitutional. Yes, a court in Kenya already said that it's unlawful and unconstitutional. Justice Isim Wita, that's in Kenya, awarded him damages, affirming that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was subjected to abduction, detention, and torture while in Kenya. Various domestic courts in Nigeria have echoed this sentiment, consistently calling for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release. Yet, the Nigerian government has ignored this ruling, showing a willingness to present him in court while refusing to release him. A federal high court in Umuahia had declared Mazi Nnamdi Kanu abduction unlawful, while a court of appeal ruling emphasized that his extradition, ordinary rendition, invalidated the ongoing trial. Yes, the way he was brought in means that no court in Nigeria has the constitutional right to even try him. In 2022, the ECOWAS Court of Justice, the judicial arm of ECOWAS, chaired by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also condemned Kanu's rendition and called for his release and compensation. ECOWAS already said release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and also compensate him. This is the way it is. This group, all of them ignored all these things, and they are criticizing Atiku, criticizing everybody that is calling on Nnamdi Kanu's release. Remember to come under the comment of this video and type Tinubu release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu before it becomes too late for Nigeria. Like this video, share this video, click on join to become a full member of our channel, and most importantly, there's another important video on the screen. Click on it and watch now.